Coliseum 3-2 and 1A state tournament. We've got Brent Reckfording from Wellsville in the white and blue bottom uniform, the dark uniform, riding in top position. Doug Spear from Atchison County, Effingham. Ben, this is the defending state champion here. Reckfording is behind by a count of 2-0 here. He got taken down right at the edge of the mat.
That happens frequently in a tournament. The boy can get behind in the first period. Remember, Brett Fertig did get behind earlier in this tournament, came back and won in a big way. But Doug Spear, with only one tie on his record for the season, moved out quickly, aggressively got the takedown. He leads 2-0. He's the boy in the dark uniform in the top position.
That's correct, leading 2-0. Reckfording got to the championships by way of a default in the semifinals, injury default to Chuck Bean of Halstead. Doug Spear got here by beating a young sophomore from Heston. He pinned him, and so Spear and Reckfording here in the championship with similar records, Ben, at least.
Well, you can bet that even though Reckfording trails 2-0, he's not going to quit. He's been in the championship circle before. Doug Spear doing a great job riding. Reckfording tried to stand up and turn in. Spear just countered it back to the mat, working with a cross-chest breakdown. Now Spear comes up with Reckfording on the stand-up. Reckfording trying to isolate, come around and get that switch going. Spear got too far forward, and Reckfording about to score now. He's in deep on the leg. Spear counters with a crossface. We're down to 13 seconds. It's a question of time here in the first period. Down to 10 seconds. And Reckfording comes out the back door. He could have had a reversal and got an escape instead. Reckfording pushes Spear out of bounds. But it's a 2-1 count, Rich, and I'll tell you, that was a good move for Doug Spear because Brent Reckfording had the reversal made.
Reckfording's going to take down position to start the second period. Now he changes his mind. He wanted to change his mind, and the official said, no, you said down. So he's going to start that down position, Ben. I think he's pretty tough to be hard to keep down there, I think.
Spear, the wrestler in the dark uniform, has a 2-1 lead. Reckfording has maintained a good basic position. That makes a difficult situation for Doug Spear. He's going to have a hard time riding Reckfording, but he rides him through in that series. Reckfording upstanding and has the escape, and that will tie the match up 2-2.
We have seen Reckfording really do a great job on his feet.
Oh, a good series. You know, Reckfording got a good snap down, got the takedown. Doug Spear didn't stay down long enough. They're hard to even count it. And he got the reversal. It's all, I started to say it is tied up 4-4.
It is indeed. Tied at 4-4 in the second period. Referee Jim Stanley brings them back to the center of the mat. And Reckfording will start in the bottom position.
Reckfording steps through, and then Spear ties up with the leg. Used to use a figure four. It's not legal anymore. Reckfording trying to peel the arms with Spear hanging on. Reckfording trying to get the position, trying to spin that leg and trying to step across. Spear down on his hip. Down on his hip is the bad position. Reckfording about to score the reversal. Spear hanging on to the wrist. Reckfording now steps across, and Spear is able to shift forward just far enough that he's way too far forward. Doug Spear hanging on. Reckfording still trying to get the leg loose, and now with Doug Spear grabbing his own arm, and now 2-on-1. Reckfording still trying to solve the problem, and Spear now comes back on top farther forward. Reckfording tries to stand up. Spear brings him back to the mat.
Tell you what, it's been a battle down here, isn't it?
Reckfording now tries a standing switch, and guess what? He traps Spear in the lock in his hand. There will be a penalty point, and the lead now goes to Brent Reckfording.
And I got to tell you, Spear looks right over at his coach. Looks right over at his coach from Atchison County, Larry Tilton. Wanted to get a little instruction, a little encouragement there. Looked right at him. Now instead of tied, he's down by one.
We're down to 10 seconds in the second period, and Spear hanging on. He hung on a little bit too hard before and lost the penalty point by virtue of locking his hand.
Brent Rexfording walking around the center outside part of the mat. Spear of Atchison goes down. 4-point stance.
Doug Spear, a good, classy sit-out and switch combination. But Rexford stops him in the middle of the move this time, riding with a head lever. The head right in the armpit now, back up to a tight waist. Spear reaches back and tries to get his face, reaches in on Rexford, but Rexford with a 5-4 lead keeps Spear down on the mat. Reaches in now, has an arm trapped, reaching in under the chest, trying to get the leverage to turn Rexford over, or rather to turn Spear over. Doug Spear in the dark uniform trails 5-4. Third period wrestling, 1 minute and 14 to go.
Pretty much staying in control here, Rexfording.
Once again, Rexford working with the tight waist, trying for the head lever. We have a stall warning against the bottom wrestler. He comes up standing. He'll fish for the standing switch, and he does. He turns in, gets the turn going. He's going to try for the Granite Cradle. He scores two now. He's in front. Doug Spear out in front. We're down to 45 seconds. It's getting serious for Brent Rexfording. Doug Spear too far forward. Rexfording about to shake him off. And Spear reaches in, traps him with a lace ride. We're down to 30 seconds. Spear in the dark uniform has a narrow 6-5 lead. And drags Rexfording back to the mat. And Brent Rexfording getting tired. Spear too far forward, but he has the arms trapped. Way too far forward. But he maintains his position now. Reaches in with the cross chest. And now Rexfording bridges out. Does he score one? Not yet. Spearman. Oh, they scored an escape right on the edge of the mat. We're down to 4 seconds. Rich Epps, we're going to have an overtime.
Well, we really will unless something really dramatic happens here.
Well, Doug Spear did the only thing he could do now. He did have the match won, but Rexfording, remember, is a returning state champion. He's going to go over to his corner. Both coaches are going to let their guys take a breather. They have a 1-minute timeout. And so this will be our first overtime in a state championship for us.
Yes, it will. First championship. Rexfording's coach is Steve Morris, and he's over throwing that towel around. And there you see Larry Tilton talking to his coach, or rather talking to his wrestler right there, Spear. There's Rexfording getting a drink of water, getting the old towel in the other corner. So both these wrestlers trying to catch a breather here. They have what, Ben, a minute?
They do have a minute timeout. And now remember, Rich, when we talk about what happens in terms of strategy, the first wrestler to score a 2-point move will, if it comes down to a match that's tied up at the end of the overtime, the first one to score the 2-point move is going to be the winner on criteria.
Now, my question is, Ben, as a coach, and you've been there before, what do you tell your guy coming over to there and you're sitting there and you're out of breath, you're tired? What are you telling him?
I tell him to set up his move and fire a good shot. Take a good shot. Don't be reaching in, but make a good penetration move on the takedown.
All right, they walk to the center of the mat. Referee blows the whistle and we're underway. 3 1-minute periods.
See now, Doug Spear floated in. That wasn't a good penetration move, and Brent Rexfording does come in deep. Spear still reaching in. He's got to penetrate with his entire body. Spear being just a little bit defensive, and Rexfording sweeps in.
Rexfording is what I would call, Ben, more of a reckless wrestler.
Well, one thing about it, he's got those long arms. He can take a few chances. He has maybe an inch or two reach on some of his opponents. Muscles in his shoulders.
I think Spear is just not so much defensive, but he knows that Rexfording is kind of an uncharacteristic, hard to judge type wrestler.
Well, we're down to 13 seconds to go here in the first period of the overtime. It's a scoreless overtime period. It was tied up 6-6 in the regulation match. Spear being defensive. Rex Burdig trying to create an opening with that snap down. Now on the toss of the coin, the choice goes to Rex Burdig. He defers. Spear has to make a decision now.
Spear says, well, I look over at my coach, and Larry Tilton just kind of looks back. He's going to take the bottom position. We're in overtime. 6-6.
Oh, a good move try, but that was a case where Spear did not have quite enough momentum. Rex Burdig just dropped him out of bounds, and it's a good call on the part of the official. We're down to 43 seconds. It's still tied up, but it's critical for Spear because he'll have to hold Rex Burdig down in the third period.
Well, I'll tell you, it's been tough for both kids, Ben. Rex Burdig looks like he's not quite as tired as Spear.
Spear on a fit-out turn-in, tries to clear the arm, trying to get a little opening. He reaches back and grabs the leg. But he's got his head down. That shows that he's tired.
But here he comes, Ben.
Oh, he scored a reversal. Rich, I can't believe he's got to be limp at the shoulders.
Tell you that, or is deceptively fresher than we think.
And I'll tell you, that was a good switch move. And now Rex Burdig tries to step across. They go out of bounds. We're down to 6 seconds. Second period of the overtime, and Spear is out in front. And if he wins, remember, he would take out a returning state champion.
Larry Tilton, his coach, told him to get out there and get going. Doug Spear. I tell you what, if I was a wrestler out there about to give it up and die, I'd say, well, now, that's easy for you to say.
Well, I tell you, Doug Spear is hurting a little bit. He looks over at the coach and says, I don't know if I can make a 2-point lead last, coach.
Rexfording has chosen the up position to begin the final overtime period, Ben. He feels confident.
He thinks he can get the takedown. It's the neutral position. And Spear is being defensive. Rexford gets in deep, and Spear counters out. But Spear's backing also, and the referees are going to question him about that.
I think he's been warned once in the match in regulation, but he's got to watch it.
Now, Spear once again being defensive. Tries to reach in. Rex Burdig blocks off. Rex Burdig trying to set up a double-leg takedown. He's got it in deep. Getting the good elevation. Spear locks up that figure-4 head scissors, and I think he can create a stalemate. Spear draped over in the black uniform, no control, and Spear on a good counter move does get the stalemate.
Tell you what, he had to be thinking to do that, didn't he, Ben?
He was thinking all right. We're down to 26 seconds to go. The third period of the overtime. Rex Burdig trails by 2. Spear blocking off. Spear being defensive, floating out of bounds now, but he can do that. He will officially be warned now for stalling.
He gave up a point. See, he'd been warned earlier. 8-7 with 15 seconds to go, Ben, in overtime.
Spear moves in now. He's out in front by only 1. He moves in. He comes in, and now Rex Burdig tries to come around behind. We have a timeout. The official blew the whistle because Doug Spear lost his helmet. We're down to 7 seconds. It's really critical for Rex Burdig. 7 seconds remaining in the match. Spear moves in. Rex Burdig tries to come around behind. We're down to 4 seconds. Spear comes in. You see that keeps him from being warned once against the stalling. No takedown.
Rexfording really upset at the call, I think. Disappointed, certainly. Thought he had the 2 points.
He did. He tried to go for it. Too little, too late. Oh, a great match by Doug Spear. Rex Burdig defeated now. He will not be able to defend his championship. And a great new young champion, Doug Spear of Atchison County.
Well, Ben called this action here at the end. He thought he had it.
He thought he had it, but you see, what you can't see in the picture is the clock.
That's right.
Time had expired. It was too late.
So Spear comes away with an 8-7 overtime win over Brent Rexfording from Wellsville, a defending champion in Class 3, 2, and 1A. Now we'll go to the winner's stand, and we'll check and see who the fourth place finisher was.